Good morning, everybody. Members of the school management, students, teachers, and parents. Namaste. I extend my warm greetings to each one of you this morning as we celebrate our Independence Day in this unique year of 2020. This day is primarily celebrated to honor the valor and to pay tribute to those true heroes who fought tirelessly towards the freedom of our country and to those visionaries who molded the very destiny of India with their astute insight. These futurists have created and maintained the cultural richness and the traditional wealth. Due to their intuitive vision, India today continues to receive the well-deserved salutations and appreciation from different parts of the world, which I would quote subsequently. These idealists and dreamers, dear friends, drew their strength from the rich cultural history and the foundation of our country, the highest virtues amongst all being compassion and positivism, which we practice at Dr. Pillai Global Academy. The underpinnings of these virtues date back to that era when our religious texts came into being. And today, India stands at the threshold where it discovers its worth once again. And this discovery will come about when we augment on the principles of this great nation. The Bhagavad Gita, the Bible, the Quran, or the Adi Granth, or the Granth Sahib as we call it, all these religious texts have a deep meaning and a new knowledge every time we read it. These texts not only reflect on the different aspects of life, but also allow self-contemplation, introspection, and lead you to self-realization. You will never find any place for any negative emotions in these texts like fear, greed, or violence that we see at a larger scale in our country now these days. And the closer we come to this self-realization, the higher we rise in life. And the higher a person rises in life, the more down to earth she or he will be. Simple living and high thinking is what is taught here, and this is the virtue that has to be adopted. We are not very sure, friends, whether the man created God in his own image or whether God created man in his own image. But come to look at it, we equate these two together in some way or the other. And then, so my question here is, why is it so simple then for a human being to kill another human being? Why is it so simple for one human being to kill the image of another person, to terrorize, to malign, to maul another living creature? And secondly, where does caste, creed, or gender come in here? All these negative emotions, my dear friends, and reactions have one foundation, one base, and that is the base of fear. Somewhere within the hearts of these individuals lies a sense of insecurity, inferiority complex, where they are scared. This very fear can be overcome when we practice the ideologies of our great leaders and practice brotherhood. So ultimately, the ones who are trying to bring about the independence, the freedom, the light into the young generation of individuals, aren't these acts of violence demoralizing for these few? Who takes care of these few individuals? It is their sanskars, it is their values and the knowledge from these religious texts. The actions of these few individuals are exemplary in nature, and we sincerely hope that they imbibe from, the others imbibe from their acts rather than condemn them. As our former president, Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, pointed the three societal members when he spoke about bringing about a change. He said that these three members are the father, the mother, and the teacher. These three members, who are solely responsible for molding a child, need to realize what kind of world would they leave behind for the younger generation. In this regard, my dear friends, Dr. Pillai Global Academy is much more than a temple of learning or merely for growth and development for these students. It is a temple that molds the character of its students. It is a temple that creates global citizens, and above all, it is a temple that creates leaders. And in return, we urge to you, dear students, to be diligent and focused in trying to achieve the unachievable and support the teachers in supporting you to be successful in all your endeavors. We have come a long way since 1947, and we still have a long way to go. With the changes coming about in the different sectors, especially in the economic and the educational sector, we can visualize a promising start and a fulfilling future, majorly for our students who would reap the benefits of being self-sufficient in the future, Atmanirbhar as we would want to call them. Now, this independence, what we visualize for our students, will be the result of what actions you and I take. The actions and the reactions to the issues around us in our great expectations from them. The salutations and appreciations that I spoke about earlier would then fundamentally apply to these kids of ours. Dear students, you will see many accolades coming your way throughout your life, but all that would be your personal achievement. But then what you do for your own country, for your own nation, and what you achieve for your country is where you would stand tall in the real sense. India has the potential to inspire the leaders around the world, and you would do so too. India has unlocked new discoveries like particles of creation to outer space. It has been to the moon, it has been to Mars. And to quote Albert Einstein says, we owe a lot to the Indians who taught us how to count, without which no worthwhile scientific discovery could have been made. And then again, just like Obama takes the names of two great world leaders, the names of our students also, dear friends, would resonate in the future too. And I quote Obama when he says, India represents an intersection of two men who have always inspired me. When Dr. Martin Luther King was protesting racial segregation in the United States, he said that his guiding light was Mahatma Gandhi. When Dr. King came to India, he said that being here in Gandhi's land reaffirmed his conviction that in the struggle for justice and human dignity, the most potent weapon of all is non-violent resistance. So, dear friends, in this lockdown with COVID-19, the world pins its hopes on India too. Although the vaccines are already being created, I quote Bill Gates, the Microsoft co-founder and philanthropist. He says, India's pharmaceutical industry will be able to produce COVID-19 vaccines, not just for the country, but also for the entire world. Now, how huge is that? But still, dear friends, we have a very long way to go. We call India the software hub or the software giant. But can any student vouch for any software in your computers created by an Indian company? Secondly, we may overtake China by 2028 in population and may become the most populous nation. But again, along with the population, can we also take the needs of the nation into consideration too? Now, this will reflect well when I narrate an incident of the daughter of a rickshawala driver who topped the university exam. This daughter's goal, my dear friends, was not to provide for the future of her family alone, but her aspirations included the development of the nation. And when she was interviewed by a leading publication, she spoke about the eradication of child labor and the class division. How far do we think have we come? We teach our students at Dr. Pillai Global Academy to be open-minded, to be caring, to be compassionate, not only for their immediate achievement, but for the achievement of the nation and the world at large. Our nation is already taking progressive steps towards its advancement, and a great example is the review of the National Education Policy recently. Impressive. And now, my dear students, Dr. Pillai Global Academy looks forward to your contribution in nation building along with character building. India beckons each one of you, dear students, as well as all of us in being instrumental in nation building. The patriotic fervor that you have and we have should be so deeply embedded into our hearts that and minds that whenever we think of our country, we hear our Mother Earth reply back only in gratefulness, only in gratitude for saving her from the clutches of self-seeking individuals. So, before I conclude, let us pledge to be committed, dedicated, and devoted in national development. Let us take inspiration from the leaders in our history, leaders who have molded the nation and brought it to its glory, where it proudly stands tall today. And as the community members of a Cambridge and an IB institution, let us take pride in our ethos that not only articulates but also demonstrates the very ability of refashioning the intellectual boundaries by creating world champions and world toppers, which we did and will continue to do so. And these boundaries are set by the values and ideals that Dr. Pillai Global Academy bestows upon its students in between the classrooms and between the teachings and interactions, my dear friends. Excellence need not only come in the field of knowledge, but humility being the first step to success. Let us encourage the implementation of this virtue not only in our lives, but in the lives of others around us. While we dream of being a superpower, let us eliminate the hurdles that keep us from it. Let us try to eliminate the class system and work towards the sustainable goals development. Look at how far we have come with diversity. Ours is the only nation that sustains the multilingual population, and we should applaud the lack of homogeneity here. As they say, grass is always greener at the other end. So today, Europe may wish to adopt this diversity that India proudly stands with. And in this regard, my dear friends, grass is actually greener at our end, isn't it? So, isn't it time to harness the strength and ability that we possess and build further upon it? Rather than mere imitation of the inapplicable ideologies of the Western world. And finally, when I conclude, my dear friends, I want to speak to my dear students. My dear students, you will be the ones who will play a major role in the possibility of this achievement that I spoke about. We look up to you to lead the nation to where it deserves to stand. Thank you so much for your attention, everybody. Jai Hind.